Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. In my last episode, I was at a nursery that sells edible greens that teaches you how to grow and teach you about the different edible greens that are out there. Now this channel is all about growing fruit trees and getting an abundance of fruit to eat healthy and enjoy and just grow and learn about fruit trees. But my goal for growing food is to get as much food as possible. And it's not only the fruit trees I enjoy, I also enjoy growing anything that's edible and healthy for me. That's why I often say, of all my wonderful, delicious fruit trees, for me and my goals, my best tree in my whole yard is moringa, because I love moringa, I love the tree, and I love everything about moringa. Well, learning about these different edible greens, a lot of you had good comments to put under those videos. I got my greens that I bought in the ground. There's my longevity spinach there. Over here I have the lemon balm thing that you could consume. I have my salad plant. I have my Egyptian spinach. Really excited about that. Now today we're going to go to a really cool place. Today we're going to my friend Jen's place, who has a website called DIY Food Forest. Well, Food Forest DIY. I keep getting that backwards. And that stands for Food Forest Do It Yourself. And she teaches how to grow a food forest, not only from a standpoint of greens, but also incorporating fruit trees. And we're going to start off today by going off in at our house, and we're going to look at what she's done to develop this program. She wrote a book as well, and I'll put the link below to the book. But she teaches people how to grow the food. So last time I told you where to get it. You can also get these greens from her as well. But she actually comes to your house and will install this and do this as well. Now Connor, the owner of the nursery from last video, he actually does that as well. But this is Jen today. We're at her house and seeing where she started. She has I believe a 2-acre property where she's grown around the edges of a whole property of food forest. So we're going to check that out. And then in another episode, we're going to go to one of her clients' house where she planted 88 fruit trees amongst this food forest with all these other edible greens. So we're going to do that later this week. But for today, we're going to go to Jen's house in Jupiter, Florida, and we're going to see what she has done to her house to create this food forest. Here I am in my house, and look at that. Currently, it's September, I believe September 7th. Look at that. That's avocado. That's a winter avocado. Things are in full season here, avocados wise. It's really exciting. But here's Jen's house. Check it out. You're going to love this video. Put your comments and questions below, and thanks for watching. All right, everybody. Welcome to Fruitful Trees. Today I'm back at a place that I can't wait to get back to and see how it's coming along. This is a food forest neighborhood, and Jen from Food Forest DIY, Do Your Own Food Forest, she teaches people how to grow food forest, has this amazing property where she's growing edible perennial greens, fruit trees, all mixed in together, and she teaches people how to do this. And she has a book where she explains this, but we are actually at her house where she's learned how to do this. And she goes around and teaches people how to make food forests at their own house. So we're going to meet her today and we're going to check it out. So here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Here I am today. This is Jen, and she has an amazing website, which is Food Forest Do It Yourself, DIY. I'll put the link below to that. And we are going to look at her yard today and see the example models she set for her installs that she does at other people's houses. She learned a lot here, and she learned from her success, but also from her mistakes. She's going to talk about that here today. And if you're interested in a food forest, definitely watch this video. And if you want to get a food forest and you live in South Florida, Jen is somebody you definitely want to contact because she does that. Jen, thanks for having us come on out.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, get ready. Here's the tour. All right, so here's Jen, and Jen's going to show us around her property where she uses as a model to go around and plant food forests and teach people how to grow them. So, hi, Jen, how you doing?
Good, good, good.
Okay, before we get started, tell us about Jupiter, where we're at. Jupiter, Florida, which is north of me. How's the water table out here?
It's We flood pretty bad. So after like a big hurricane storm event, we've got a lot of standing water. So before you build your food forest, typically with a food forest, you're adding a lot of mulch, you're adding a lot of organic material, you're building up the soil. And if you don't think about your drainage, all the water will be stuck on your property and you want it to be able to flow off. So off to the west, we built a food forest, and to the north, we left it open like an orchard. So when there's a ton of water, it can still drain and flow. And I was going to say, listen, really, the truth is I made all the mistakes on my property so that with clients, I'm not making those mistakes. We learn by our mistakes, right? People think that because I started Food Forest DIY, because I wrote Food Forest Revolution, I've never killed a fruit tree. I've killed lots of fruit trees. That's how I know how to tell you how to avoid the mistakes that I've made. So.
All right, so show us around this amazing property.
Yeah, so this is a newly planted poncho avocado, and it's of course got browning on the leaves. It really needs some pigeon pea or something around it to help protect it from the sun, because you can tell it's struggling. I know what needs to be done, but do I have time to do it? Maybe. We've got some bamboo here. This is a butterscotch sapodilla.
You like those?
I do. I love sapodilla.
Have you tasted the butterscotch?
I don't think yes, I have. I'm trying to remember if I have or not, but I've got Alano, butterscotch. Your favorite is Gigantea, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Alano's delicious as well.
Okay. Kind of a, bamboo hedge going here. This is a longan that died back to the rootstock. So right now it's rootstock, and I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to top work it or cut it down. This is a neem tree, and neem is amazing. If you go to India, other subtropical parts of the world, they use neem for everything. This is where we get neem oil from. It is so highly medicinal. They use it for all kinds of issues. I had a really terrible skin reaction. I actually think it was to mango. And this rash was horrible. I had tried everything, homeopathic, holistic, every kind of medicine you can imagine. Finally, I came out and I grabbed some neem leaves. I crushed them into a poultice with lavender oil, applied it to the skin. Within 24 hours, the rash was gone.
Wow.
Neem is amazing. This is kind of rare, a guinea peanut. I got it from Echo Global Farm in Fort Myers, and it's about 3 or 4 years old, planted from a little 3-gallon.
Does it give you fruit?
Not yet.
But it will?
A peanut.
A peanut, wow.
Yeah. Tamarind.
Sweet or sour?
Sweet.
Sweet, beautiful.
And here is all kinds of fun things. You've got some things that are just pollinators, like the jatropha, the Mexican sunflower. I honestly know that a lot of folks in food forest world like Mexican sunflower. I don't plant it anymore. It gets too crazy. I've been trying to eradicate it, as my friend David Weaver said I should have done years ago. Back here is a Kohala longan from our friend Jerry Berkowitz. He gave me an air layer. All kinds of perennials on the ground. 2 different jackfruit. This jackfruit is about 5 years old. It was in an older pot. It's fruited for me like quite a lot. This jackfruit is a seedling that was planted 2 or 3 years ago. It hasn't fruited yet, but I think we're really close.
What variety is this one?
This is also a seedling. These are both you know, this one, I feel like actually was an Asian variety. We're not exactly sure. My husband's co-worker's from Vietnam, and he didn't have room to plant it on his property, so he gave it to us. So mystery, but it tastes amazing. It tastes like juicy fruit gum, tutti frutti, just really tropical, like banana mixed with pineapple and all kinds of stuff. I want to show your people the difference between a maple leaf chaya and a star chaya. I'll grab a leaf in a second. Chaya is the highest protein green in the world. One serving of the leaves of chaya has more protein than an egg. twice the iron of spinach, loaded with vitamin A and vitamin C. Hunger researchers at Echo think it could help solve global malnutrition. Why would we have bushes growing in our yard that make nothing when we have bushes that could make something? I love using this in like chili, soups, spinach artichoke dip. Literally any way that you would use a green cooked, you can use Chaya.
Like collards.
Yep. Yep.
So how do you cook it? All different ways, or?
You boil it. You boil it for 15 minutes without the lid on, and then you can use it however you like. You can put it in your marinara sauce, and this is the protein.
Some people freeze it after they boil it, right?
Absolutely,
yeah,
sure. Because then you can just pull
time.
it out a half a cup at a time, or whatever you need.
And it's now so everyone knows you cannot eat these raw.
No.
So everyone keep that
Correct.
in mind.
Only cooked.
Okay.
Only cooked. Yeah.
And how do they taste?
They taste really good.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who does not eat meat, and I made this in a spinach artichoke dip. She took a bite and she asked me, "Is there meat in this?" I said, "No." It's almost like you can taste, it's got this like hearty flavor to it. But let me show you the difference between this and the star Chaya. People get confused.
Yeah, this is the one I have at my house.
And it's amazing for pollinators, right? Like pollinators really, really like this plant. But if I'm going to be collecting something for food, do I want to have to collect leaves that look like this or leaves that look like this?
Great example. I mean, this is pretty cool. But if you're going to get a lot more
this has
food
more
from that.
vegetable.
Yes.
If you're looking for vegetative mass,
absolutely.
all
now,
day.
this is the way it's commonly sold. I mean, where'd you get this one?
I know. I'm trying to remember. It might have been from Josh Jameson at Cody Cove, but I get them
And
from
I'm sure there are many
places.
different varieties of chai, but these are probably two of the most popular?
Yes.
And
yes.
do you have these available when you build your nurseries and your farms?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Back behind here is a peanut butter fruit tree, and you can see all the fruit.
Wow.
All the fruit coming. This is an older, I mean, this is, maybe 4 years old.
I remember 2 years ago when I came here, it was loaded.
Yes, I originally got this from Mike at Trees and More.
Okay.
And then just made more from seeds and cuttings. We've got more Chaya back here, a couple different mangoes. These are all kind of surprise mangoes.
How often do you eat the Chaya personally?
Personally, I'd say every couple weeks.
Now, I know somebody can overdo Kentuck. Is it common to overdo Chaya or not?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not every day. So long as you're not eating cups and cups a day, I think you're fine. This is a lychee, which I would no longer recommend planting for clients. I only plant longan because of all the disease issues.
Yes, I'm in agreement, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Tell us about Kentuck.
Yeah, so in Asia, they call it sweet leaf because it's really delicious. You can throw it in salads, use it raw, use it cooked. It's got tons of vitamins, tons of nutrients, really good for lactating mothers. It can actually boost breast milk production because of the vitamin K. So Katuk is really useful as a hedge. It's going to make a thicker, denser kind of wall of plants than almost any other perennial green. So if you're looking for privacy or a hedge-like plant, Katuk is a great bet.
Now, how high can you let it grow? I know it'll grow forever, but what do you like to keep it?
It can go pretty high. I like to keep pruning it around 4 or 5 feet so that I keep getting this new tender growth. So if you look at in here, the tips, you can easily snap and you can eat that stem.
Yeah. So you can eat stem. Now, when you plant these as a cutting, what do? You cut it like right here. Mm-hmm. You'll cut it like right here.
Yep.
And do you take all the leaves off or no?
Yes, take all the leaves
off.
off.
All leaves off the leaves, but do you take these?
I literally strip it.
You leave the side shoots on?
I take it off.
So you just take the stem.
Yep.
So you don't leave these side shoots.
Nope.
Okay.
And Katuk cuttings are kind of funky. They take really well in the spring, but they can struggle other times of year. But when you've got a top like this, the part of the stem you can use is a part that like easily is like that bendy, To
eat,
Other parts of the stem are like really woody.
Yeah.
Obviously you wouldn't eat
So
that.
when you're using it as a cutting, do you want to get the woody parts or middle in between? Or
I say woody.
Woody,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You want the soft wood, you want the hardwood.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it, you just stick it right in the ground, right?
I tend to baby my cuttings. So I put them in a pot. I put them in kind of a part shade situation. I water them until they're rooted. There are some cuttings you can just stick in the ground. Chaya, so easy, stick it in the ground. Yucca, stick it in the ground. Katuk can be a little needy, so I tend to really take care of it until it's rooted. Then I plant it out.
Okay, is there a certain amount of, when you put it in a pot, like 1 inch, 2 inches, does it matter?
I tend to do it in a 1 gallon pot. So
But
it's,
how
it's like
far
6
up?
inches.
Like how big is the branch you take?
I only 10 to 12 inches. Sometimes
Okay.
bigger is not better.
Okay.
Yeah. So all kinds of things in here: Arabica coffee, Grumachama, goldenrod, cranberry hibiscus, medicinal aloe. If you ever get burns, cuts, scrapes, aloe is amazing. A little canistel. I would say one mistake that we made with our food forest was when we first moved in. I had just had a baby and we planted 40 fruit trees, and we hired someone to come do it who said that he knew what he was doing with food forest. So in each hole, he put compost in the hole. Now you would think that would be a good idea. You know, it's going to feed the tree. But really, when you put compost in the hole, then the tree gets to be lazy. It doesn't need to send roots out far and fast looking for nutrition, and it can permanently stunt the growth of the tree, as well as if there are any air pockets underneath the root ball. I mean, this amount of growth from a 3-gallon tree over 5 years is pathetic, right? So I am very intentional on my jobs. I make sure that all the guys are using best practices. We're putting mycorrhizal fungi on the roots. We're not allowing any air pockets, and we're only using compost as a top dressing, not in the hole. So through here,
Except for a banana. What you said is
Correct.
for everything except banana.
yes, bananas are not actually fruit trees. They're herbaceous
Yeah.
plants. Totally different rules.
And
You
they
don't
love
plant them
being-
high.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you would do with a fruit tree that you wouldn't do with a banana.
Yeah.
Correct. So lots of things through here. Yucca, different citrus that I would not plant again today because of all the issues with citrus. Dragon fruit, and I've actually got huge dragon fruit in the back. Katuk, Grumachama, Chaya, banana. I want to show you a case study in star fruit. Okay. Star fruit in the sun versus star fruit in the shade. This is a Carrie seedling. This tree was planted at the exact same time as another tree I'm going to show you. This tree, according to the books, is in the right place. Okay. It's got full sun. The other tree was shaded. The difference in the growth between these trees could not be more different.
Now, but that's a seedling. Is the other one a seedling
Also,
as well? Okay.
Yep. Exactly the same.
Okay.
So tons of chaya, the maple leaf, the bigger variety of chaya.
Now, if you only eat chai every couple of weeks or once a week, why do you have so much of it?
Well, I need a ton of it for propagation material, right?
Gotcha.
For clients. I also do starter kits at different conventions I go to. So I'll bring a food forest starter kit with, you know, cassava, chaya, different seeds, so that kids or people who are at the convention who want to start a food forest have a really easy little baggie to take home, and they can go start their food forest.
Very cool.
So this is actually a lychee seedling from our mutual friend Sue Ann. And look at this star fruit. This star fruit is the same kind of Carrie seedling. It was planted at the same time, but Mexican sunflower has been shading it for the last several years. If you look under the canopy,
Yeah, there's fruit on it.
it's loaded with fruit. Loaded with fruit.
Has it had
Same
fruit
stock.
before?
Yes.
How do they taste?
It's been fruiting for 2 years. They
How do
taste
they
great.
Great, wow.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is that star fruit can handle part shade, which is great news, because in a food forest, we need some trees that like the understory, that like the shade. Star fruit is definitely one of those.
It can also handle the colder weather.
Yep.
They grow it up north.
Yeah.
I've been to Green Dreams with
Yes, Pete.
and he says star fruit grows great up there.
Totally. So back here, it's even more wild. We've got the hog plum red mambin, which again, originally were cuttings from Sue Ann. A longan seedling. This is a really interesting edible hibiscus. The leaves taste like lemon. They commonly call it October rose. The science name is Hibiscus radiatus. But it's got a nice like lemon flavor to it.
I have that one.
Makes a beautiful flower, like a burgundy.
I haven't seen the flower yet. Is the flower
Oh, the flower
edible?
is beautiful. It's edible. It comes in October. That's why it's called October Rose.
Now, nutrition-wise, would that be the same as the red hibiscus?
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar. This area got super wild. I need to spend a little more time. You know how they say, like, the shoe keepers, his kids have no shoes? I maintain all these other food forests, but does mine always get maintained? No. So back there you can see behind the cassava a mahachinook, right? And I keep pruning it to try to keep it kind of shaped like a lollipop. I tip it every year. These pretty pagoda, but they're also like pretty invasive, so I don't plant them for other people. They were just here when we got here. Back in here is tons of the dwarf Thai mulberry. I really like dwarf Thai. And there's still fruit on it, like surprising for this time of year. There's still fruit. And then back there's a big prickly pear cactus, nopal, right? Which I love using as a bell pepper substitute. The pads are just as good. And then behind that is an ackee. And in my mind, this was a huge mistake because this is my south side, right? You plant tall trees on the north side, you get your best sun on the south side. This was a little ackee seedling that I got from our friend Margot Youngman on the north side of the farms. And it was just 3 or 4 feet tall. 4 years later, it's 25, 30 feet tall.
Ackee's too tall across, even from the
So
north side.
tall.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you're gonna plant it, only on the north side, not on the south side. This is lots of,
right?
Yeah, this is lots of wild stuff. Let's head to the front yard.
Okay, so here we are. You have some bananas. What kind of banana is that?
Yeah, so this is called, they're really big. I know. Again, some marketing genius named this SH3640 because that's a really sexy name. But SH3640 is a banana that was adapted in Peace River. And it's just a bigger banana, right? It's closer to the grocery store size banana. I'll give these to you and Laura as a gift. You can take them home and try them. And I've actually got 2 stalks coming here. I planted these along the pig pen because pigs love all things bananas. The peels, the stalks, the leaves. When I actually cut down the whole stalk, I'll just throw it in there. They love everything banana. You can see here how well bananas do on a drip line. Bananas need about 120 inches of rain a year. In South Florida, we get about 60. So the rain that we are getting is not enough. So what I tend to do is plant bananas really close to a hose where I can put a splitter, have a hose going one way, a drip line going the other way, and bananas on a soaker hose do so much better than bananas on their own, in my humble opinion.
Okay, it looks like they're rocking here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, the pigs are happy.
Yeah, the pigs are like, are those fruit for us?
What kind of pigs are they?
These are Cooney Coon. They're a heritage breed pasture pig. They have a shorter hair so they can kind of handle the Florida heat. They have a really sweet temperament. My little kids can get in there and just pet them. They kind of lay on their side. They want belly rubs. They're a very sweet tempered pig.
Do they get super big or that's the biggest?
No, that's as big as they get. So they're a smaller pig and they're safe to be around little kids.
Nice.
That's why we got them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And do you move them often or they always stay in here?
No, they stay in here and I throw them fun stuff. So they see me and they're like, oh, the snack lady.
Now, is there something like pig food, like dog food, or do you just throw them all your scraps?
Yeah, there's pig food, there's kitchen scraps, and then there's all the fun from the food forest.
So they eat like chickens?
Totally, totally. So they eat regular feed, but they also eat, like, see all that kind of purple red grass back there? That's called elephant grass or Napier grass. Almost similar to like sugarcane and how it grows, but it's really sweet. And we planted it there to be a forage crop for the pigs. So I'll just chop it and toss it to them.
And what about raccoons and stuff? They don't go after them?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Really?
I don't think any raccoon would really want to go in there. So
really, that's strong.
they're pretty big. I mean, they're like 150 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Here we are talking about the bananas and something Jem wanted to share.
Yes. So you've got 2 kinds of pups that come up. You've got sword suckers that have long, narrow leaves, and you have water suckers that have these wide leaves even when they're small. The sword sucker, when it gets older, is going to produce a huge, healthy bunch of bananas. This is a very strong plant. It's very close to the mother corm. If you were to kind of push back and forth on the stem, you would feel it's got more of like a strength to it. The water sucker is usually further from the mother. It's very weak. If you were to move the stalk around, you're like, wow, this is a weak stalk. In general, I cut down water suckers. I just chop them, put them in my compost. I only want the strong sword suckers. They're gonna make a nice bunch of bananas.
So that would be a sword sucker right there, right?
Correct. Nice, long, narrow leaf.
When do the leaves start to get fat?
They start to get fat as they get older.
Now, I believe, is this different for different varieties? Because I believe I had somebody that told me the opposite.
There is one variety I've seen, I don't remember the name of it, that has more of a wider leaf when it's young, but a majority of bananas are like this.
Well, I think, and I got to go back on my video, but I think somebody said the sword suckers won't produce bananas and you want to get rid of those.
No, that's not true. Just feel the base. The base on the sword is thick, it's strong, it's close to the mother. The water sucker is further, it's weaker. You can feel, man, I could just push this thing over.
Will the water sucker still get bananas?
Let me show you the difference.
Okay. And it's not really variety based here, what you're talking about.
Not really. There's one or two where the leaves are going to confuse you, but look at that. That is from a sword sucker.
Okay.
That is a nice, strong bunch of bananas.
Okay.
You know, when it's fully done, it'll be 30 pounds.
Yes.
This is from a water sucker. The plant was not as strong, and it produces a tiny, pathetic little rack of bananas. I'm going to cut the whole thing down because that's not worth it.
I'd have to say that I got to check my trees.
Yeah.
But it might be, what variety is this?
These are different varieties, but I've had this banana make nice, strong bunches. So this is just the type of pup.
From what my memory is, and I'm going to check when I get home.
Yes.
I've had some, what you would call a water sucker with big leaves, real small.
Yeah.
And they produce nice racks.
Yeah. Yeah. It just depends. This is kind of what I've
Your
observed.
Observation, yeah.
Yeah. At least for these varieties. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for showing us that.
Yeah. And I mean, even here, you've got, these are all sword suckers, right? And kind of the sign of healthy banana plants is that they're producing sword suckers. And again, you can kind of feel they're just strong at the base. If you feel at the base and they're like weak and can really move around easy.
And was this a sword sucker?
This was, no, more of a water sucker. You feel, you see how far it is and you can really wiggle it around? They're not the same.
Okay, so you're letting this one grow though?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of as an example. This is the one that we just harvested.
And if somebody wants to grow bananas, get whatever you can get and then let the rest grow up.
Yes, of course. You can use any pup to start a new banana plant, but once you have them coming, that's when I start delineating between sword suckers and water suckers and trying to keep and encourage the sword suckers.
And after you cut the bananas, do you throw them to the pigs? Not the bananas themselves, the stalks.
I'm going to cut the stalk to about here. I've got some kids coming for nature school, so I'm going to wait till they're here. We're going to cut this. We're going to throw it to the pigs. I don't cut it all the way down because this stalk is full of water. So I want to cut it about waist high and allow all that water to go back down to the corm over the next week, and then I'll cut it all the way down.
Okay, so why don't you cut it all the way at first?
Because there's all this water in the stalk. So if I cut it here, all this water is going to flow down into the corm and just feed it, kind of make it stronger. Whereas if I cut it all the way down, I'm just losing all that water.
What do you mean it's going to feed it? It's going to feed what?
So when I cut it here, there's 5 feet of stalk that has water, and it's all going to go right back down into the corm.
But don't you want that? Isn't that good for other...
So I want to cut it here.
I see what you're saying. So you're not losing the water. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
We're just not wasting it.
Makes sense.
So we're up in the front of the yard, and this is honestly an area where I learned a lesson. You see people on YouTube who say, just put down cardboard and mulch. It'll be fine. Grass will grow up between cardboard and mulch. So this area looked stunning for about 9 months, and then tons of torpedo grass came up, but you can fight it using different things. Here we've got tons of bananas, different kinds, Big Mike, Saba, Goldfinger. They're all on a drip line irrigation. Again, from the hose, I've got a splitter, and they just produce so many more racks, so many more pups. So here we've got an area with another red Mambin hog plum, courtesy of my friend Sue Ann, and a Lano sapodilla that I got from Leif Michelson. A jackfruit there in the back, another red Mambin. All kinds of just flowers that are coming as they want to for the bees. A little tropical snow peach that I just planted so it looks like a stick. A choquette avocado. Back there, another Carrie starfruit, more mulberry, and of course the Jamaica cherry tree, which is a super fun tree. It makes these small red fruit. I love this tree and I hate this tree. So I have like a love-hate relationship with what we call Jamaica cherry or strawberry tree. I love it because as it gets taller, it has this kind of tiered look to it. It's very beautiful. It's very ornamental. It also takes up a ton of space. It is not a solution for small yards. If you have a yard smaller than a 1/4 acre, I would not ever plant this.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed, definitely. That's how we live and we learn.
Yes, we live and we learn for sure.
All right, everybody. Jen, thank you for showing us around. And you wrote a book talking about all this. And
Yeah.
you also have your website. And as a service, people can come and you could do this to their house.
Yes.
And I have other videos where I show Jen doing this at other people's houses. What's your website?
It's Food Forest DIY.
Which stands for Food Forest Do It
Yourself. And the book is on Amazon. It's Food Forest Revolution.
I'm going to put the link below to both of those. I love this yard, and my goal for growing is to have edible food. And you don't only need big fruit trees to have edible food. You can have all these other perennial greens that a lot of people don't know about. And you might not know about it, but if you check out Jen's website, you can learn all about these, and I recommend you do so. Thank you for having us come on out.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, everybody, that was Jen, and it's Food Forest DIY, and I'll put the links below. Are you growing these edible greens amongst your fruit trees? I highly recommend you incorporate them. They're so easy to grow, and the thing is, you could put them under your existing fruit trees or right beside your existing fruit trees. The weeds that we normally get rid of because they're just weeds and have no really benefit to us, but these are weeds you can actually eat and consume and are actually healthy. So I don't know what your goals are. Each of us have different goals, but my goal for growing fruit trees is to get as much nutrition as possible from the trees. So that's why I love finding places like this. And I'm excited for the next video. We're going to go to one of the yards that Jen actually installed with 88 fruit trees amongst these cool islands. So stay tuned for that. But that was Jen today. Links are below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day and keep growing.